Centipede. Centipede.
Sup YouTube, a Visual Gaming Network, and welcome to episode 21 of our Mario game in Java tutorial. Last episode we implemented Goombas into our game. This episode we will be implementing power-up blocks that will give us a mushroom when we hit it, just like in actual Mario games, you know. So before we start programming the power-up blocks, there's something I want to fix. First, in our entity class, you know we have that solid boolean. Yeah, I've done some thinking and I realized there's actually no point at all in having this boolean in our entity class at all. So what I'm going to do is in our constructor we're going to erase boolean solid. Alright, remove this dot solid is equal to solid, remove when we actually initialize the variable. Alright, remove the public boolean is solid, and we're going to do that for the rest of our classes that extend entity, so remove solid from the constructor, and in our super remove solid from the list, and we'll just do that with every class we have that extends entity. So this shouldn't take too long, as we really only have 3 classes that extend entity right now. Okay. Alright, and we go into our handler class. As you can see, we would get errors because when we add an entity, we're trying to specify a boolean when it's not in the constructor. So just remove the boolean. If you don't know what the boolean is, it would either say true or false in highlighted pink letters. Like this is highlighted in blue letters. Alright, so now I'm just going to right click on one of the classes and click close all. Just to close all these classes because we don't really need them open anymore. Okay, and I'll show you in GIMP. I made these 2 rubbish, once again, little sprites. One for when we haven't hit the power up block and one for when we have hit it. Nothing special, pretty crappy once again. Alright, so we're going to go into our tile package. We're going to right click and create a new class, and we're going to call it power-up block. There we go, and because it's a tile we need to make it extend tile. So yeah, just add the constructor, and then yeah, I have to fix that, it's annoying. And then just make our render method and our tick method, or we'll type it really. So public void render graphics G, public void tick. Okay, just import graphics. You know, now that I think about it, I should have made these abstract. If you don't know what an abstract method is, just look it up. But in case you do, yeah, I really should have made these abstract, but I don't know, maybe I'll do it next episode or something. You know what? In fact, we're going to do it right now. So, in case you don't know what an abstract method is, so I'm just going to make render an abstract method. So, we're going to type public abstract void render graphics G, but we don't actually give our method a body. Instead we put a semicolon on the end, and let me just public abstract void tick, let's create that as well. Alright, so there we go, and because we have abstract voids in this class, we need to make tile an abstract class, so we're going to type public abstract class tile. So let's say let's just remove our render and tick method. If we make our render and tick method abstract, if we extend tile, we pretty much have to make our class have these 2 methods because it's part of the tile class, and because it's abstract we're kind of forced to have it in any class that extends tile. So yeah, I'm just going to do that for the entity class as well. Make entity an abstract class, yep, and make tick and render an abstract methods. Okay, just quickly do that. There we go. So now we've got that done, we're going to go into our power-up block class, and we're going to add another parameter in our constructor, and we're going to type sprite PowerUp next to handler. And above our constructor, we're going to type private sprite PowerUp. And in our constructor, we're going to type this dot PowerUp is equal to PowerUp, like we do in our tile and entity superclasses. Speaking of that, we can just close them because we don't need them anymore. Yep. Save changes. And we're going to create a boolean, and we're going to call it popped up. So popped up is equal to false. And we're going to type private int sprite y is equal to get y. So in our render method, we haven't actually created the sprites for our PowerUp block yet, so I'm just going to go into our game class and do it right now. I'm actually going to sort my sprites out a bit. Alright, and let me just sort it out a bit here as well. Alright, there we go, we got that done. Now we're going to create a sprite under our public static sprite grass. So public static sprite power up. Then we're going to create another sprite, and it's going to be called use power up. And of course, that'll be the sprite that'll be used when we have hit our power up block, and the mushrooms come out and everything. And now we're going to go into our init method. Under our grass is equal to new sprite line. We're going to type power up is equal to a new sprite. Now, what is the x coordinate? It's 3 and 4. Okay. So 3, 4 sheet. Then used power up is also equal to a new sprite, but the coordinates will be 4 and 1 sheet. Why did I type 3, 4? It's 3, 1. Now we're going into our tile class and quickly create a boolean, and it's going to be called activated. So public boolean activated is equal to false. So now we're going to go into our PowerUp block and type if activated is equal to false, then g.drawImage game.sprite. Actually, it's game.powerup dot get buffered image, and the coordinates will be x and y, width, height, and the observer will be null as always. Null meaning nothing. I spelled activated wrong. I just realized. I was wondering what the hell is going on there. Activated. Alright, let me just change that to the right spelling. I spelled activated. Activated. Alright, so now we're going to type else g.drawImage. So of course this line will be called when activated is equal to true. So the sprite will be game.usePowerUp.getBufferedImage xy, width, height, and null. Now above all this, we're going to type if popped up is equal to false, then g.drawImage PowerUp.getBufferedImage. So we're just pretty much going to draw the sprite of what our PowerUp will be. The x coordinate will be x, but the y will of course be sprite y, and the width and height will be width and height, and the observer will be null. So in our tick method, we're going to type if activated is equal to true and popped up is equal to false. Okay. Then we're going to type sprite y minus minus. So of course this will take 1 away from y every tick. So under sprite y minus minus, we're going to type if sprite y. Someone just sent me a message. Okay, sprite y is less than or equal to y minus height. So we're checking if sprite y is equal to y minus height, and if that's true, the code in the body of this if statement will be executed. So of course we're going to type add entity new mushroom x, then sprite y, and width and height will be width height id dot mushroom and handler. Just import mushroom, and popped up will be equal to true because our mushroom has popped up. Oh, we need to type handler dot add entity. So now we're going to go into our player class. Okay. So in our if getBounds top.intersects t.getBounds method, under our if jumping if statement, I'm going to type if t.getId is equal to id dot PowerUp. And because we haven't created PowerUp in our ID yet, just going to quickly go there and type PowerUp. There we go. Now we're going to type if getBounds, if getBounds top dot intersects t dot getBounds, and if that's true, you're going to type t dot activated is equal to true. If there's only going to be one line of code in the body of our if statement, we don't need to have a body, we can just type it here. I hope you understand that. So now we're going to go into our level image. I'm going to open. Okay, so let's go to our res, level.png. Okay, zoom in to our level. I'm just going to remove these walls and remove our mushroom here. And let's make we'll make our PowerUp block bright yellow. So that's FF0000, or the RGB value will be 255, 255, 0. So let's export our level image, replace it with the other one. Okay, refresh our project folder and go into our handler class. So of course we got to do the usual. Because the RGB value is 255, 255 and 0, we're going to type if red is equal to 255 and green is equal to 255 and blue is equal to 0. Then we're going to add a tile, a new PowerUp block x by 64, y by 64, and the width and height will be 64, id dot PowerUp, and this, referring to the handler. I just import PowerUp block. Oh yeah, we need a sprite. We need a sprite for our PowerUp block. So our sprite will just be game.mushroom. What? Oh yeah, of course, a tile has a boolean. And because we will be colliding with our PowerUp block, we're just going to type true. Okay, so it should be all good, so let's run our game. There you go, as you can see we have our PowerUp block. Let me just kill our Goomba real quick, and if we hit it with our head, there we go, our mushroom comes out, and you can see then it functions fine, and we can get it, and yeah, we're big. So I'm going to wrap up this episode here. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos. If someone you know is interested in learning how to program a game in Java, please send this tutorial. I highly appreciate it. So I'll see you guys soon. Bye.